Welcome to Chaos to Clarity, where we discuss healing trauma with godly guidelines. I'm your host, John Fontenot. If there's any topic you'd like to discuss, let me know in the Q&A section. Let's dive into today's episode, emotions, fear and anger. How many of you know that these two emotions are often linked? Anger is fear in disguise. Anger portrays strength and fear portrays weakness to most of us. While fear often occurs to avoid situations that could bring unwanted outcomes, anger often serves as a motivating force to retaliate against a situation or a person. See, being afraid that we won't get what we need or we can't control what's going on around us, we oftentimes get angry. This also happens when we feel entitled to what we are deprived from or something that doesn't go our way. Fear often shows itself in a more seductive costume, like bravery, perfectionism, hello self, arrogance, anger, people pleasing, hello me again, FOMO, which is fear of missing out, or adrenaline junkie. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 14:17 through 29, one that hides his anger, covers his resentment, contrives schemes to revenge himself, and waits an opportunity to put them in execution is justly hateful too, which means that you're just as wrong as whoever you think did you wrong, basically. A personal experience of mine is that, like I said previously, I have operated in people pleasing and perfection for decades. This comes from a fear of not being enough by being just myself. You know, that feeling of if I just do this perfectly, they'll be so proud. That's it right there. So you keep trying to excel in everything that you do, thinking you have to perform a certain way to be loved or accepted. And you get upset because you didn't do this or that, and then you repeat this super vicious cycle that ultimately gives you the feeling of unworthiness, rejection, all the things that go along with it. And you insert fear and anger to try to protect yourself, so to speak. Yeah, it's all a delusion in your mind, in case you weren't aware of that. I had to sit with myself and God last year and be open and raw. There's nothing on earth that I could ever do that would qualify me to be loved any more than someone else or by someone whose heart wasn't truly in it. You know what I'm saying? The people that you think you have to overperform for in order for them to be part of your life, those are not your people, friends, like at all. If you have to step out of your unique self to get somebody to like you or to be around you, they really don't need to even have a place in your life. You need to get rid of them or just set healthy boundaries. If it's not genuine, then I don't really want it, period. You know how freeing that was for me? It was like laying down a mountain that I had been carrying for way too long. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love cast out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. The Bible tells us, fear not or do not be afraid 365 times. Not a coincidence, in my opinion. The way that you get away from being fearful and not feeling like you're enough is to pray. Give your fear to God, and it helps you to demonstrate faith. It's letting go and letting God have control, because we all know what happens when we try to be in control, myself included. Every time I try to have things under control, it usually spins more out of control than I thought it would be holding on. Things never go exactly as we plan. Practice being grateful for those who are in your life, for those who love you, and just celebrate life in itself. No one or thing should have that much power over your thoughts. Break free. Love yourself enough to heal in this area, and you can love others more freely as well. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I mean, do you really want to be a prisoner of your own thoughts? I was for a really long time, and it was very exhausting, mentally and physically. I didn't want that to have power over me anymore. We're also reminded in 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your fear or anxiety on him because he cares for you. Another translation says, give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares for you. You see, at the end of the day, God just wants us to love him. He wants us to let him have control, so we don't have to be fearful. We don't have to be angry. We don't have to live emotionally, because we're not meant to operate that way. Emotions are feelings. It's not the truth. It's not what's really going on. And if you live in an emotional state, you're going to make like all the wrong decisions, all the wrong choices, and you're not even going to be happy and joyful in life. So just remember, setting yourself free, letting go, and letting God have control is ultimately the best feeling in the whole wide world. I hope you are working on yourself today, just like I'm working on myself. Until next time, friends.